This is just a quick tutorial to show you how I made a bag that I made in one of my recent live streams. And the purpose of the demonstration wasn't to show you necessarily how to make a tote bag. It was to show you how you can use different types of fabric combined to make something that you wouldn't normally expect. For instance, the main part of the bag here is made with a stretch jersey. So this would be something that I'd normally make a batwing top with, or a dress, or a pencil case. The top piece of the fabric and the handles are made with a linen mix fabric. That is quite a floppy fabric that would be great for loose fitting wide leg trousers, maybe jackets. And then on the inside, I've used a really lovely Japanese printed cotton, which would be fantastic for things like blouses, but that would be for quilting as well. And the reason that we can use all of these three different textures and types of fabrics together is because of the interfacing. And I've used a 40-gram interfacing. This is what we have for you. There's 2 meters on here by 90 centimeters. There's a lot of interfacing there. But just putting an interfacing on the back, which is quite lightweight, means that my stretch cable knit fabric doesn't stretch anymore. It makes it sturdy enough to be able to make a bag without it kind of bagging. And my very floppy fabric, my linen mix, is sturdy. So on the handles, where all I've used is the interfacing, and these have been folded over 4 times, so it makes it quite sturdy, I don't need anything else on the inside there. So it kind of balances out the weights of the fabric, stabilizes them, stops them from twisting, stops them from shifting, and provides you with a fabric that you can use for something that you didn't expect that you could. So the style of the bag itself, just a tote bag with the pleats. I haven't put any pockets on the inside. You could add patch pockets if you wanted to, or a letterbox zip would be good on the inside. A magnetic clasp to fasten that would be quite nice. You could put a flap over the front, keep that quite narrow and within the handles if you're going to do that. That could fasten with a button or a magnetic snap, or you could just leave it as it is. It's quite a roomy bag, so it's a useful bag with straps that are long enough to go over my shoulders, and I like that because I like to keep my hands free when I'm shopping or when I'm walking. You could round the corners. I've left these square. You could box the base if you wish, or if you're new to bag making or you just want to try something a little bit different with different textures of fabric, I think this is a really lovely bag just as it is, and it is quite a quick make as well. So have a think about the type of fabrics that you've got already. It may be a lightweight fabric like a viscose or a lawn that you think, well, I love the print on that, but that's no way going to be sturdy enough to actually make a bag. Use the right interfacing, and yes, you can. So have a think about the fabrics that you've got that you'd like to use, or maybe just something that would look a little bit different if you buy the fabrics. I'll leave the details of these in the description box below the video, and just change your mindset a little bit as to what you actually need or what fabrics you would need to make a bag with. Who says you can't make a bag out of jersey? So have a think about what fabrics you've got, and let's get sewing. I have 2 pieces of fabric for the outer of my bag, measuring 17 inches across this way and 13 inches that way. This is a stretch jersey, which isn't normally suitable for bags, so I've put a 40-gram interfacing on the back of it, which adds a little bit of weight to the fabric, but it also stops it from stretching. For the tops of my bags, I've got 2 pieces of fabric, and these again have both got the 40 weight interfacing on the back because they're a very floppy linen look fabric, and these measure 5 inches down by 13 inches across. My handles, I've got 2 pieces, which is again in the linen mix, and I've put the interfacing on the back. These measure 4 inches wide, and I'll just measure the length. Those are 27 inches long, and then fold the long sides to the center, fold in half again and press. My lining I'm going to cut out after I finish making the bag. So let's put one side of the bag together first of all. So that's the top of my bag, that's the bottom. We want to make the bottom the same size as the top. So let's take a pin, and I'm just going to measure, say, 5 inches from the edge and make a pleat. And my pleat is, let's try, 1 inch wide, because we can always adjust this if it doesn't quite match. And then we'll go 5 inches from this side as well. So let's just measure that in there and take another pin, pinch this, fold it over by 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters and pop in a pin, or you could clip that if you prefer. So then we just need to make sure that that is the same width as that, and that happens to fit perfectly. Now the handles I'm going to slip in here, and the top of the bag I'm going to fold over. So let's make the handles up next. So I'll do the other side of the bag in exactly the same way. So we'll have 2 pieces that look like this and 2 pieces that look like this. And then with the handles, I'm just going to top stitch along each side. So I can use quite a long stitch here, so I'm going to go up to a 3 on my machine, and so. Right, so there's my 2 handles finished. So then let's take the bottom of the bag, and these I'm going to put facing downwards just over each one of those pleats. So this time I am going to use a clip because it's a little bit thick to put a pin through. And then just so close to the edge there, just to hold those pieces in place. So there's one piece, and there's the second piece. Then we'll need to take the bands that go at the top and sew those right sides together. So if you wanted to pin or clip that, that's fine. But we'll just sew straight across the top here. This can be adjusted if you find that your top isn't exactly the same size as the bottom piece. Just keep adjusting those pleats to make them the same size. Just go slowly over the lumpy bit, straight across. And I'm using the edge of my foot as a seam allowance, which is just a tiny bit over 1/4 inch. If you wanted to backstitch a little over the handles, if you're likely to be putting some weight in the bag, that might be a good idea. So we have that, and then we'll do the same with the opposite side. Now, just to help the handle stay in the right position and to finish this off quite nicely, I'm going to top stitch across the top section here. I'm not going to top stitch across the pleats because they're really bulky now, but I'm just going to put a long stitch on my sewing machine, flatten all of this out, and then just top stitch down here. So let's go up to number 30 on my machine, or number 3, sorry, and about 1/4 inch from the seam with the handle facing upwards, or sew straight across. Adds more strength to the handle as well when you're doing this. So that's looking quite nice. So I've got my 2 sections both exactly the same. I'm going to fold this top part in half and press it. So it's easy to do that with the handles up. So line that up with that, that up with that. Ironing board under there. And just press across the top. That's going to be the top of my bag. Like so. So if your fabric isn't creasing too well, give it a bit of a squirt of best press. Let's put that on the table. and press a nice line across the top. Just so we know where the top is. I'm not going to top stitch it for now, it's just so that I know where the top of that's going to be. And then do the same with the other piece. So fold in half so that the edges of the fabric meet at the edge. A little bit of S-press. And press. Like so. Right, now I'm going to cut out the lining pieces. So the lining, I'm not going to put the pleats in like I have with this one. I need to cut a piece of fabric that will go from the bottom of here all the way down the sides, and that can be quite flat. I don't need the volume or the pleats in that to create the volume. So I'll need 2 pieces. So lay this out quite flat, or as flat as you can. Like so. And then I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, so just bear with me a second, just so you can see all of that. There you go. So lay it out so that it's nice and symmetrical, with the pleats down the center. And I'll need to cut my fabric this shape and up to the top here, so it's the same length as the bottom, because then that's going to go into a seam allowance here, so the lining's actually going to join onto that piece there. So let's snip that around there. So I'm cutting through 2 pieces of fabric here. And around the bottom. Up this side and then across the top. So up to there. I can now take that off and cut straight across the top. Like that. And then take the top piece, one of the lining sections, and sew those right sides together across the top, and do that on both pieces. So I've got the front and the back pieces that both look like that. So let's take those 2 pieces, right sides together. I'm going to match up, put the handles out of the way, match up the side seams here. And I don't think it matters whether the seams are open or going to one side or not. Mine just happen to be facing downwards. And match up the seam here, because these are the seams that are going to be seen from the front. So those are the ones that I just want to make sure actually match. These match, but that's inside, so I'm not too fussy about that. And that. And then sew all the way around the edge, but leave a turning gap of about 3 or 4 inches just in one side. So go all the way around, apart from one bit where we're going to turn. So let's snip across the corners just to make those a little bit more pointy when I turn these the right side out. Same on the lining. And then turn the whole thing through. So before I sew the turning gap closed, I'm just going to put my hand right inside and push out the corners. If you have some kind of turning tool or a knitting needle or a skewer, you could use that. Push that out. Not your scissors. Push that through. And pull the two sides of the turning gap apart, and the edges should just roll in nicely and sew straight across. And then let's push the lining inside the bag. And to finish it off, I'm just going to top stitch all around the top. So I can lengthen the stitch again. I like to start somewhere near the seam so you can't see the join too much. Up to number 3, stitch length on my machine, and sew all around. And now we're finished. So we might need one final press. Just push that out. So there's my bag finished. It is quite a quick make. And again, like I said right at the very beginning, if you wanted to have fastenings and pockets and things like that, you can do. But this is the kind of style of bag that you could easily make within half a day, maybe a couple of hours. But the main point of the video and the project was just to show you that you can use different types and weights of fabric together to create something that looks really stylish. And yes, you can use stretch jersey to make a bag with without it going baggy and bouncy. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you again soon.